insight video today. The last couple of days I've been sort of directed to like the soul and sort of like understanding around the soul and sort of like the wisdom that brings, but also the way this is your direct connection to source energy and source creation. And the last couple of days I've sort of like been looking at sort of looking around at a few posts and things like that, and I've been like directed to like Master Helion, who's the ascended master of like ancient wisdom, ancient truth, um, and sort of like the and is like the ascended master of truth. And I think the source is sort of the soul is very much around this. It's very much around sort of like truth and sort of like ultimate reality, ultimate sort of understanding of source energy and source light. As this is the energy that many of us are working with at the moment, and it's also this is the new vibration, the new frequency that's coming down to the planet and starting to integrate within our own energy fields and our own energy centers. And this is where it's sort of like I've been talking about the notion of sort of anchoring in light, anchoring in energy is really really important at the moment. And this is part of the awakening. This is part of the sort of awakening to source energy and source creation. But it also connects to sort of like again to the ascended master of Almora about this divine will, this divine truth, and understand the will is like this divine intelligence, this source intelligence, this source understanding, and this is the shift that's happening at the moment. But these ascended masters are bring these teachers, and part of the Great White Brotherhood, which is this um, infinite sort of teachers, infinite sort of like ascended masters, infinite teachers of light. But they're not always necessarily ascended masters, because you've got like many teachers and many guides. But like the Great White Brotherhood is these universal teachers that are helping to bring light and energy to this plane of existence. So we start to again sort of like go back to sort of source energy, but it's about reclaiming. And so I was directed to like Master Helion, which is very much around sort of like very much connected to the soul and connects to ancient wisdom. So ancient wisdom is very much around the principles of spiritual truths and spiritual understanding and spiritual wisdom. But it's also wisdom also connects to the soul, because each and every one of us brings this soul, or is part of this. When we incarnate, we come down with our souls, and our souls hold the incarnation and the wisdom of the many lifetimes and many incarnations that we've actually been through in the many different sort of experiences. And it's not necessarily sort of like when I say soul, like incarnation, because in this physical plane, the soul is it brings like it is the incarnation in the physical realm, but the soul is sort of like very different in like the spiritual realms, the spiritual realities. We're not always necessarily embodied, um, but we're still connected to the source energy, and the soul sort of like works on that plane in that way. It very much connects to the source energy in whatever sort of vibration or whatever frequency or whatever reality we're in. So it holds a lot of infinite knowledge, and it's also it connects to what you call the higher self or the infinite self in that sense, which is this wisdom, this understanding that we're all spiritual beings and we're all spiritual light beings, and we're all here for a purpose, and it's to bring that wisdom again. And this is everyone's purpose, and everyone's purpose of why we're here. And I feel this is what the Master Helion is like bringing, is this understanding that each and every one of us holds keys and holds like wisdom um, and truths that we all bring, and it's about us sort of like bringing them in our lives, and walking in that light, walking in that truth, walking in that wisdom. And again, this connects to again, when you start to look at these teachings and these spiritual principles, they all are so interconnected, because there's a connection to every other master. You know, when you start talking about truth and wisdom, and then you start looking at source and will, then you start looking at Almora, and then you start looking at sort of like Master Helion, and each and every one of the masters are part of a light frequency that's working in perfect union with each other. None of them work separate, they all work in perfect union. And again, this is part of the ultimate sort of truth, the ultimate understanding. Helion also works with spiritual leaders, scientists, but it's to bring the spiritual knowledge and wisdom back to this plane of existence, and again back to this reality. Like I say, it connects also sort of like source energy, walking in truth, walking in wisdom, walking in understanding. Again, connects to the illumination, which is this aspect of Lord Lanto. But illumination wasn't just Lord Lanto; it was all the masters. Because when you look at like ascended masters, like Jesus, he walked in his light, he walked in his truth. He said, "I am the light, I am the way." In that sense, again, that's illumination that he's walking. It's not even well. That being was vibrating with source energy, with source truth, source wisdom. And again, this is what Master Helion brings. He brings with the color green as well, which is the fifth ray. And it very much connects to knowledge, wisdom, spiritual growth, spiritual understanding, spiritual transformation. And again, that connects to Saint Germain. As you see, as I start to talk about this and I talk about the masters, how they're all interconnected, and this is the way it always works. You've also got Serapis Bey, who brings this white energy, and again, it's about ascension. It's about coming back to oneness. It's about coming back to this law of one, that we're all one light, one vibration, one source energy. There is no separation. There's no separation from, in this world, in all the infinite realities, there is no separation. And this is the ultimate truth. This is the ultimate wisdom. And this is the reflection of source energy, that we're all source light, source energy, source creation. And this is what this time's about. And this is why it's so important that many of us are awakened to that, because there's harmony, there's balance, there's peace in that, there's union and unity, but there's also this sense of when you awaken to your spiritual understand, your spiritual wisdom and your spiritual truth, then you walk in it, and then when you start to walk in, then you create reality of it. But you then bring this light, this energy, this source energy, um, which gives you this. I think a lot of people, when they're connected to the external reality, again, when we start talking about the universal law of correspondence, the external world, a lot of our lives are, and our consciousness is lived in that external world. And when we're caught up in that external world, the external world is directed by desires and needs and wants and things like that, that we feel that maybe we're missing something, or we're missing, we haven't got what we need, when the abundance is all around us and it's within us. And again, this is like this is like wisdom and truth again. And this is where I think Master Helion is the guiding sort of like master that's bringing this teaching today. Because I was connected in last night and I was looking around, and I was directed to like a Facebook page, and there was a teaching, and it was talking about Master Healer and it was talking about the soul and the soul's wisdom and truth and understanding, and it very much was like directed to that again. I think this is what's going on at the moment. We're asked to awaken. Like I said about the 3D reality, the 3D reality is about desire, want, need, a sense of like we're missing something, or we're lacking something. But that's again, that's down to our sort of like that's not the truth. The truth is that we've all got abundance. We've got abundance of source energy. We've got abundance of light and energy around each and every one of us, and all we have to do is like walk in that light and be that light. And again, this is where the illumination comes from. And you got, like I said, Serapis Bey, about ascension, about the oneness, and again this law of one. And again, I keep talking about the universal law of correspondence, but it's a really important one, because it's the building block to creation. It's the understanding that that you can shift and change. Once you understand that correspondence law, then you start connecting to the universal law of inspired action, and the universal law of transmutation and transformation, because you start to know that you can dissolve negative energies, you can dissolve energies around you, that your energy field can be aligned, and actually with your source creation and your source energy, you can dissolve that. And it's like the awakening, it's the understanding again, that wisdom and that understanding that the truth is that you have all the tools, you have all this energy, this source energy, this source light, that you can dissolve your reality. You can create your reality, but you can also dissolve that which doesn't serve you. And this is the truth. And when we're stuck in our lives, it's because it's our own level of consciousness, and it's our, if we're attached to something that's not serving us, or we're attached to, or we've got a desire, or we're going towards something that we know that's not harmonizing with us, yet if we're doing that, we're creating that law of attraction. we're manifesting, we're creating it, because what we're doing is we're using the you know, we're using action in a way that's creating a reality that's not in harmony, or not in line with our true wisdom, our true understanding, our true source energy. And this is what this time is about. It's about letting that stuff go. It's about sort of dissolving it. And this is how you move to the higher dimensions. I talk about six dimensional reality, which is again is the infinite realities of source and the infinite realities of light and energy. But this was also, you know, this is the gateway to source energy. And again, we're all getting we're all sort of like, the vibrations are shifting and changing to bring us through that gateway, which is to back to source energy, back to source reality, back to source light. And again, Master Helion is bringing this. Master Helion was in Atlantis, and he was sort of like connected to Atlantis and the truth, the spiritual wisdom, the spiritual understanding, as with all the ascended masters. You know, we talked about Saint Germain today, we talked about Lord Lanto, we talked about Almora, we talked about Serapis Bey, and we talked about Master Helion now. But they're all working together. You know, you see like the seven major rays, and you talk about the ascended masters, but all those masters are connected. But as well as the angels and the archangels are connected, all is one. Nothing is separate. Nothing is. Everything is one, and this is the main message of the masters. The masters, like, and Helion's message is to awaken to your own soul wisdom, your soul understanding, your source energy, your source creation, as is Serapis Bey, as is sort of Saint Germain, as is Almora, as is Lord Lanto, as is Master Jesus. All of their messages are the same. They're saying awaken to source energy, awaken to source light, and start to, you know, walk and express your wisdom, express your light for the greatest of good. You know, and this is what the Great White Brotherhood is all about. It's for the greatest good of all. And this is what each and every one of us are here to do, is to walk in our light and express that light for the greatest good of all. It's like we're one light, we're one vibration, we're one frequency, we're all source energy, we're all part of the source energy, we're all manifesting and creating through source energy and source light. And each and every one of us is here to awaken to that concept, awaken to that understanding. It's not a concept, it's awaken to that understanding. It's even different. I'm being direct to say awaken to that truth. And again, that's Master Helion. Awaken to that truth, that understanding, that wisdom. And each and every one of us are here to do that. This is why we're here. This is why we incarnated. This is why we came down. And this is the message that each and every one of us should be bringing. And the message comes from many different ways. It comes from you guys. It comes from the angels. It comes from the ascended masters. But it's all about that source energy, that source light. That we're one vibration, we're one frequency, and we all are here to express that light and express that frequency and awaken to our wisdom. Because each and every one of us holds a key. Each and every one of us holds a key, and each and every one of us has a treasure chest, and our treasure chest is our soul, our wisdom. And each and every one of us, when we unlock that, we unlock and we awaken to our purpose, and we bring our frequency here. And each and every one of us brings our own frequency, which is part of the infinite design, that is the infinite frequency, the new frequencies, the new energies that are coming down here. And each and every one of us holds a vibrational frequency that is to align with that, to awaken it and bring it back to the planet. And this is what was happening in the times of Atlantis and Lemuria when they were awakened. Each and everybody was expressing their source energy, their source wisdom, and their soul wisdom, and they were vibrating as their own signatures, their own frequencies. And this is the ultimate sort of truth. This is the ultimate sort of like harmony. This is the ultimate experience. However, when you're actually, you know, when you're existing and you're sort of vibrating on that frequency, there still needs to be balance. And again, this is, you know, once you get to that sort of level of frequency, then it's about also about sort of keeping that frequency remained. It's about integrating it, and then it's about harmonizing it. But then it's about maintaining that frequency. And this is even when you get to that stage of frequency and understanding that you're back to source energy, and you're creating and you're expressing it. You're also always maintaining it and looking at sort of like harmonizing it, because there'd be many things and many things around you that could come up that could actually then sort of affect that frequency. So it's not just getting there, it's then about maintaining it, and it's remaining in that frequency. And this is the spiritual journey, this is the spiritual understanding, this is the spiritual growth that all masters and all beings, and this is the path that all beings walk when they become awakened. That's the insight for today.